The billionaire's son was born blind, growing up in a world of marble floors, private drivers, and whispered secrets he could never see. He learned to understand people through footsteps, breathing, and the silence they left behind. When a new maid arrived, everything felt different, and he sensed something hidden behind the polished walls. Her hands trembled and her voice was always too careful. Adrian noticed the way others treated her and the pain she tried to hide. One day, he discovered the truth, and it shattered everything he thought he knew. His name was Adrian, and from the moment he was born, his life was wrapped in luxury and limits. As the only child of a powerful billionaire, he lived in a mansion where everything was polished, controlled, and carefully managed. Though he never saw the chandeliers or gardens, he knew the house through sound and touch. He recognized the echo of his cane on marble and the hum of distant traffic. The soft rustle of staff uniforms passing by helped him map his surroundings. Every sound told him where he was. Adrian's days followed a strict routine of tutors, music lessons, therapies, and carefully prepared meals. Every surface was wiped clean before he reached it, and every path was cleared in advance. People spoke to him kindly, but always with distance. Their voices were smooth, polite, and professional. No one ever stayed long enough for him to truly know them. His world was safe, but lonely. Adrian rarely left the estate, and the outside world existed only through the news playing in the background. He heard about protests, injustice, and people treated differently because of their skin. To him, those stories felt distant and unreal. Then one morning, the rhythm of the house changed. A new maid joined the staff, and her presence felt different immediately. Her footsteps were lighter, and her breathing quicker, as if she was always bracing herself. She spoke with a different accent and moved with quiet caution. At first, she blended into the background like everyone else. Slowly, though, the air around her began to feel tense. Adrian noticed things others assumed he couldn't. He learned her name from the way people said it, clipped and impatient. Her accent made some staff slow their words, as if she were a child. When she passed, conversations dropped to murmurs. Laughter turned tight and forced. Adrian couldn't see faces, but he felt the shift in the air. He began mapping her presence by sound. Early in the morning, he heard her cleaning the back stairs. Late at night, he still heard her working while others rested. She was given the hardest tasks no one else wanted. While others took breaks, she kept working. The imbalance was impossible to ignore. One afternoon, Adrian heard raised voices from the hallway. A supervisor accused her of scratching furniture, and her apology trembled. The response was cold and threatening, reminding her she was replaceable. The word grateful struck Adrian sharply. No one had ever spoken to him that way. He realized kindness in this house had conditions. As days passed, patterns became clear. She was always checked twice at the gate. Security searched her bag while others passed freely. Once, Adrian heard guards joke about people like her. Their laughter sounded cruel, not playful. Something uneasy settled inside him. Adrian felt confusion, mixed with anger. He had been taught the house was fair and respectful, but the sounds told a different story. When she entered a room, tension followed. When she left, quiet comments about her skin and country appeared. The room relaxed again. One evening, Adrian heard muffled sobs from the laundry room. She whispered about needing the job and sending money home. He stood frozen, realizing this pain lived under his roof. At dinner, his father spoke of business and philanthropy. Adrian listened to the staff moving in the background. The maid's footsteps were slower, heavier with fear. Then one morning the calm broke. A valuable piece of jewelry went missing. The house erupted into sharp orders and tense silence. Staff were lined up and security swept the halls. Adrian heard the maid's breathing grow frantic. In that silence, he knew who they blamed. Everyone was gathered in the cold main hall. Adrian stood gripping the railing, feeling every movement below. The tension was thick and unmistakable. Security searched staff quickly at first. Their tone was polite and casual. But everything changed when they reached the new maid. Questions grew sharper and voices harsher. They searched every pocket and warned her about police and papers. She began to shake. Adrian heard the humiliation in her breathing. No one else was treated as guilty. The difference was undeniable. Then memory clicked into place. Adrian remembered the jewelry case opening while she was outside. He recalled keys jingling near his mother's room. He remembered her returning a lost wallet without reward. Instead of thanks, she was met with suspicion. The truth became clear. Piece by piece, the timeline formed in his mind. She couldn't have taken it. She had been chosen as a target. Adrian stepped forward, heart pounding. For the first time, he used his voice with authority. He told them what he knew and what they avoided admitting. The hall fell silent. Everyone waited, breath held. Two truths stood facing each other. The silence weighed heavily. His father finally ordered a real investigation. What was once assumed now had to be proven. Hours later, the truth emerged. The jewelry had never left the house. A senior staff member had misplaced it. The maid was cleared, but the harm remained. She had been searched and shamed publicly. The apology was quiet and incomplete. Adrian felt his world crack. He realized racism wasn't always loud. Sometimes it lived in suspicion and quicker blame. He began asking harder questions. He pushed for changes in treatment and policy. Some things improved, but he knew it wasn't enough. The maid eventually left for another job. She carried relief and lasting pain. Innocence did not erase humiliation. Adrian remained blind, but he saw more clearly than ever. He understood how often silence allows injustice to win. The question lingered with him. How many times does this happen without anyone speaking? How many stories end differently? And when we face it ourselves, do we stay silent or finally choose to see?